Okay, I been drawing some stuff there for the old marble run, and the CAD software that I use is a program that's called ProgeCAD, P-R-O-G-E. I guess that's how you pronounce it, ProgeCAD. Anyway, man, I can't say enough good stuff about this program. For what I paid for it, and I have worked with SolidWorks and AutoCAD, so I am very familiar, well, not very familiar, but I'm familiar with them programs, used them both. More of an AutoCAD guy, and that's kind of what ProgeCAD emulates is AutoCAD. So anyway, so I know a little bit about that. Most of my experience is in 2D drawings. I've been playing with CNCs since the early 80s, back when we was writing our programs in G-code. It was only a two-dimensional program. There was none of this 3D stuff. It was a wire machine, what they call a wire machine. So anyway, I've learned to program in G-code and didn't have too much trouble with that. But anyway, so while I was doing the old marble run, I run into a couple of scenarios where the software didn't want to act just right. So I finally decided to get in touch with ProgeCAD and see if they could help me out with that, and they were good enough to return the little tech bulletin I sent them. And what they suggested was that I download their 2024 software. It's a free 30-day trial, and man, it's well worth it. I mean, it doesn't cost nothing, so of course it's worth it. But anyways, my program's the 2019 program. That's the one I'm running. So anyway, what they said was if running that newest software doesn't eliminate your problem, get back in touch with us and give us a detailed explanation of how you built the piece that's giving you the problem. And the problem I'm having is an error code. And it's called a modeler error code. M-O-D-E-L-E-R, modeler, as in I'm the guy that made the model. I don't know what modeler means exactly. I kind of wish I did. Anyways, I'm getting a modeler error, and there's things it won't let me do. This seems to be most prevalent when I'm using helix, using a helix and then sweeping something around that helix. That really seems to be the biggest case where I run into this situation. And one of the problems is, it doesn't happen every time. It happens about 98% of the time, but once in a great while, it'll let me do things. And what it's not letting me do is once I construct something with helix, it won't let me union another piece to that helix. It also won't let me subtract from that helix, subtract a hole in the middle of it, whatever I'm trying to do. It won't let me do it. I come up with this modeler error. Now I figured out ways around it. Like I say, I've been working with CAD software for 40 years. So I understand that there's little glitches here and there. But anyway, so I wasn't sure how I was gonna, give them a detailed explanation of what was going on. So I said, well, hey, we'll just make a YouTube video over it. So, okay, here we go. This is for all you guys out there at ProgeCAD, and this is your detailed explanation of the problem I'm having. Okay, let's get over here on the old TV. Okay, there we are. Got the old Jeep in the background there. Let's start out, right here. Let's start out in the beginning of things. That's not what we want. Here's what we want. A system. Everybody wants to know what kind of system you're running. And I understand that. So what we got going on here is a little good old-fashioned Windows 8.1. I like 8.1. It's a good little way to go. Okay, and then right there's my processor and my all that other good stuff. Right there's all you need to know about what my computer is. Way back in the day, she was a screamer, but she's getting a little old now. Anyway, it still shouldn't have a problem, I wouldn't think, but I don't know. Okay, fire up the old ProgeCAD and launch that old program. Got 30 days left on my 30-day trial. I didn't waste no time getting into this. Okay, here we are. So let's open up. We're just going to start right from the get-go. Let's go to, we're already in 3D files. Got myself one set up here I like to use. Okay, let's start right here. So pretty much we'll start right with the helix. Now I'm going to fumble around a little bit because 2019 and 2024 are a little different, not a lot. So let's make us a helix. We might as well start around 0, 0, 0, 0. Just because that's easy. Well, no, I screwed up already. We're gonna get out of that. We're gonna escape out of that. And we're gonna hit her one more time. And the reason I do that is because the beginning of the helix ain't gonna end up where I want it. I wasn't paying attention. Okay, so we're gonna go start right there. Start right on the center. See a base diameter. My notes say I want 53 millimeters. Okay, top radius. I'm going to run 6 millimeters. Now we're going to go to turns because I want exactly 2 turns on this. Okay, now helix height. We're going to go with 15 millimeters, and we're going to make that negative because I want this helix running down. Little side note there, this is something that's been upgraded since the 2019 one. You could not put a negative number in the helix on the old one. It just automatically treated it as positive, and that helix would have come up as opposed to going down. Okay, there we go. So now we got our helix. Let's take a look at it from the front. And yep, she's traveling down. Start point's over here. Let's move that, whoops. Let's move that over a little. We're going to need it over there. Okay, what we're going to do next is we're going to open up my track. What I'm using for my track for my marble run. Anybody's watched my videos knows all about my marble run. We'll open that up. And this right here is, I can't remember what you call it. It's all one piece. We're going to copy that. Control copy. This is how I copy that. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's undo that. I'm not sure what happened there. That shouldn't have done that. Little fat fingering on the keys. Control copy. Okay. We won't need that. I don't know why. Call me. I don't like to leave that highlighted. Back over here. Now we're going to do a little control paste. Control V. We're just going to set it down. And what we're going to do next is we're going to move this. And this is what we want to move. Select that. We're going to pick up a endpoint. And we're going to pick up that endpoint. We're going to take and attach it to another endpoint, being that one. Okay, so now that's there. Next thing we're going to do is run a little sweep. What do we want to sweep this? What do we want to sweep it around? Oh, that helix we just built. And there we go. Okay, a little view from the top. So there she is. A little funky here. I got that center kind of small. I understand that that's there and it might be a problem. Another problem I have is this right here is no longer parallel with the x-axis. Call me neurotic, call me whatever you want. I don't like that. So we're going to rotate this thing ever so slightly to get that thing running parallel along the x-axis. Now I know because I played with this thing so many times trying to get it to work the way I wanted it to, that is 4.04 degrees. So let's do a little rotation. What are we going to rotate? We're going to rotate this. What is the rotation point? Well, let's make it this right here. Okay. And we want to go negative 4.04 degrees. And that looks good, and bang, we're rotated around, and it's reasonably square now. Okay, we got to open up another one. Did I close this one? No, let's close that one. We don't need that one anymore. Do not save the changes. And let's open up another one. And what we're opening now is the actual track for my a short piece of track. Let's go into the straight. Let's use this one right here. Yep, that looks good. Let's open that up. And here we have a piece of track that the marble rolls down. And we'll look at that from the top. And we need to copy that. Little control copy. And again, I don't know why, but I don't like to leave things highlighted. We could actually even close that, but I'm not going to yet. And we'll kick this open. Back her up a shade. And do a little control paste. And we're just going to drop that right there. Okay, now to make sure these tracks are, well, let's go back and close this just because, again, OCD or whatever you want to call it. Okay, that's gone. Now we're going to do a little more moving. So let's move. What do we want to move? We want to move this. Okay, we need a point, a base point, and we're going to call it right there. And we're going to connect it at another base point right there. Okay, now little thing that happens when you do stuff like this once in a while. Let's look at this from the right. And if we look real close, we got a gap right here. And this is a little easier to see if we bump her up to realistic. So we can see this gap in here. I don't want that gap in there. Let's go back to 3D, or to wireframe, I'm sorry. And I know about how wide that gap is. I think 0.4 will close that gap up. So we're going to grab the track and we're going to move her over 0.04. I'm sorry, 0.4, not 0.04. And now we got them overlapping. And you can see that. Got them overlapping right there. Right there, they're overlapping. Okay, so now comes the problem. Let's get back up on top of this. Okay, now I'm going to union them two. And like I say, once in a great while this works, and as luck will have it, this will probably be the time it works. Okay, so let's do a little union. What do we want to union? We want to union this to this. And I've run this union in both directions. I've done all kinds of stuff and no luck. And bang, you notice nothing changed colors. Okay, it should have changed to all green. And there's the old blue screen of death. Modeler operation error, unable to perform union operation. And this is the problem I'm having. Not only will it not let me union it, but if I were to try to make a hole, say right here in the center, let's do it real quick. Let's switch over to red. I like red when I'm removing things. Let's make a cylinder. We'll call that cylinder out at 0, 0, -16. I don't know, let's make it a 16 millimeter hole. That's the size hole I usually work with when I'm dropping the marble down through something. So we got an 8 inch, or a 0.8, or an 8 millimeter radius. I might have said inches, but I meant. And how tall? Well, let's make her 25. And there she is. Now, let's imagine for a minute that I want to subtract that. Do a little subtract. Subtract from, well, we're going to subtract from this. And what would you like to subtract? Well, I'd like to subtract this. And it took it out of there. Doesn't always do that. Something don't look right. Let's put that back in real quick. Let's take a front view look. Another thing I've noticed is that if I try to do something that's reasonably large, I'm going to have more trouble with it subtracting than I am if I'm using something small like what this hole is. Now let's go back to the top and let's run that subtract one more time. and bang, I got the hole in there. Doesn't always work that way. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Most of the time it doesn't. But anyway, that's where we're at. So I guess my big problem right now from what you're seeing is the union, but take my word for it, I've definitely had trouble with it subtracting things also from the spiral here. All right, okay, man, I hope that about covers it, and I'll look forward to hearing from you. All right.